Nami, we need to have a talk. And let's skip the formalities. You're smart, you've always known you've got a sharp mind. But we both know you've been using it in ways that, let's just say, could use a little divine intervention. I see you out there plotting, scheming, pulling off heists that even your crew sometimes doesn't know about. Clever? Sure. But here's the thing. You weren't made just to be clever. You were made to be good. Now don't get me wrong. I'm all for using the gifts you've been given. Resourcefulness? That's something to celebrate. But you've got a choice here, Nami. You can use that brilliant mind to keep pulling the wool over people's eyes. Or you can use it to lift people up. I know the pirate life is tempting. Riches, freedom, treasure maps. But let me ask you this. What's all that treasure worth if you lose yourself in the process? Let's start with the big one. Money. It's your soft spot, your Achilles heel, your golden calf, if you will. You've had a tough life, I get it. When you grow up in a place where everyone's looking out for themselves, it's hard not to think that the answer to everything is a pile of gold coins. And hey, I'll be the first to say that taking care of yourself is important. But when does taking care of yourself turn into being controlled by your own greed? You've got enough treasure maps to wallpaper your whole ship. But how much is enough? There's an old saying, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You, Nami, have put your heart in a chest and buried it at sea with all those riches. And the funny thing about treasure, it rusts, it fades, it gets stolen. Ever notice how hard it is to hang on to it? It slips through your fingers like sand. And what are you left with? The same hunger, the same chase, the same emptiness. Now don't think I'm here to tell you that wealth is bad. Far from it. But it's not the wealth that's the issue. It's the weight of it. You're carrying a burden, Nami, and it's heavier than all the gold in the East Blue. I've got an alternative for you. How about riches that can't be stolen, that won't fade or lose their shine? Let me let you in on a secret. Real treasure is in who you are, not what you own. Generosity, it multiplies. Kindness, it comes back to you tenfold. You've got the heart of a navigator. You know how to read the stars and guide others through storms. Why not use that gift to guide people towards something bigger than just coins? But let's shift gears a bit, because there's more to this than just money. Let's talk about trust. Now, I know trusting others hasn't exactly been easy for you. You've been betrayed, backstabbed, and double-crossed enough times to make anyone close off. But here's the thing. Trusting someone isn't about being naive or letting your guard down. It's about having faith in something bigger than yourself. You don't always have to keep your hand on your purse, Nami. Remember when you first joined Luffy's crew? You were cautious, always watching out for number one. But over time, something changed, didn't it? You started to realize that maybe, just maybe, these people had your back. And they do. Luffy, he'd walk into fire for you. That's the power of trust. It's a bond that makes you stronger, not weaker. You don't have to handle everything on your own, which brings me to betrayal. Yeah, we both know you've been on both sides of that one. You've had to make tough choices, sometimes doing whatever it took to survive. But here's a little truth for you. Betrayal cuts both ways. When you betray someone, you hurt them, but you hurt yourself even more. It eats at you bit by bit, and no amount of stolen treasure can fill that gap. The way forward? It's not easy, but it's simple. Forgiveness. Not just forgiving those who've hurt you, but forgiving yourself. You've made mistakes, sure, but that doesn't define you. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? You know, there's a lot of strength in love. And not just the warm, fuzzy, romantic kind of love, but the kind of love that says, I've got your back, no matter what. That's what you found with your crew, Nami. People who would fight for you, who've shown you that love isn't a transaction, it's a commitment. And that's exactly what I'm offering you. Love like that can't be earned or stolen. It's freely given. All you have to do is open your heart to it. Let me tell you something about forgiveness. It's not about forgetting what's been done to you or pretending everything's fine. It's about releasing the hold that the past has on you. You've been carrying a lot of weight, Nami. You've held on to grudges, pain, and anger because it felt safer than letting it go. But here's the truth. You're never really free until you let go. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It breaks the chains that are holding you back. You've got the key. All you have to do is use it. And fear? Well, that's been one of your biggest battles, hasn't it? You've faced some terrifying foes. Pirates, marines, sea monsters. But the scariest thing of all, facing what's inside. I get it, Nami. The fear of getting hurt again, of being vulnerable, of losing what little control you have. It's overwhelming, but fear, it's a liar. It tells you that you're not enough, that you have to fight and claw and steal just to survive. But you don't. You're enough just as you are. You don't have to prove your worth by outsmarting everyone around you. Remember this. Courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about moving forward in spite of it. You've been doing that all along, whether you realize it or not. But there's another way. You don't have to carry that fear alone. Lean into the people who love you, who've shown you time and again that they're with you, no matter what. Trust them. Trust yourself. And trust me. I've got you. Now let's talk about something a little uncomfortable. Integrity. You've had to cut corners, tell lies, and manipulate situations to get ahead. I get it. Survival sometimes feels like it requires bending the truth. But let me tell you something about lies. They're chains. Every lie you tell is just another link in the chain that's holding you back. And I know you, Nami. You value freedom above everything else. So why tie yourself down with dishonesty? The truth, it's a little scary at first. It feels vulnerable, like you're handing over control. But here's the thing. Truth brings a kind of freedom that nothing else can. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. People don't follow those who have all the answers or who never make mistakes. They follow those who are honest, who admit when they've messed up, who are willing to grow. That's the kind of leader you're destined to be, Nami. Someone who can say, yeah, I've been through some stuff, but I'm not letting it define me. You've got the chance right here, right now, to change your course. You're a navigator, after all. This should be second nature to you. Plot a new course, one that leads to peace, joy, and real freedom. Not the kind of freedom that comes from cutting deals or stealing treasure, but the kind that comes from living in the light, being true to who you really are. And here's the challenge I'm laying down for you, Nami. Use your skills, your smarts, your cunning, not just for yourself, but for others. You've got the power to change lives, to guide people towards something greater. And trust me, the rewards for that, they're more valuable than any treasure you've ever stolen. You know, Nami, one of the things that stands out about you is your knack for leadership. Even if you don't always realize it, you've got this way of making decisions, calculating risks, and guiding people through chaos. It's impressive, really. But here's the thing about leadership. It's not just about getting others to follow you. It's about guiding them towards something greater. Think about Luffy for a second. He's not exactly what people picture when they think of a leader, is he? The guy's always hungry. He jumps into danger without thinking, and yet, look at his crew. They trust him with their lives. Why? It's not because he's got the best strategies or plans. We both know you handle that. It's because he leads from the heart. He's got this relentless belief in his crew, and that makes people rise to the occasion. That's leadership, Nami. Now imagine what kind of leader you could be. You've got the brains, the skills, the strategy. But what if you led from a place of trust and love, too? What if you believed in your crew the way Luffy does? That's a different kind of leadership. It's not about being the smartest in the room or the one with the most control. It's about lifting others up, helping them reach their full potential. And trust me, that kind of leadership, it's contagious. And with leadership comes responsibility. I know. It's not the most exciting word. Responsibility can feel like a burden, like something that ties you down. But here's the thing. You're already carrying so much on your shoulders. You're responsible for your crew's safety, for navigating them through the toughest seas. Why not take on the responsibility of leading them toward something even better? You've already proven you can survive. But real leadership, Nami, is about helping others thrive. You've got this unique opportunity. People look up to you, even when you're not trying. So what are you going to do with that influence? Will you use it to keep chasing treasure? Or will you guide them toward something bigger, something more meaningful? So what do you say? You've navigated through storms, outrun marines, and stolen treasure from under the noses of pirates. Think you're up for navigating a new path, a better one? I know you are. And hey, if you ever need a little guidance on the way, you know where to find me. I'm always listening.